Two divers attempted to break their deep dive record at Lake Garda. On the day of the dive, one of the divers' stage tanks got entangled in the ascending line while still more than 500 feet below the surface. Would he be rescued in time? Lake Garda, the biggest lake in Italy, is located between Venice and Milan. This lake is famous for its beautiful views, lovely towns, amazing food, and great wine. Diving in Lake Garda is exciting because it has steep walls, caves, platforms, canyons, sunken boats, lots of pikes, and just the right water temperature. Divers of all skill levels can have unforgettable experiences in this lake, which is 1,135 feet deep and one of the clearest in Europe. Under the water, you'll find many different animals and plants, unique rock formations, and even some old treasures. The cliffs make it a great place to dive. Experienced divers can explore the depths of Lake Garda and enjoy the beauty of nature underwater. There are exciting things to see for divers in Lake Garda, like the Christ of the Abyss statue, a tall statue underwater in Riva del Garda, sunken ships near the harbor in Laziz, and an underwater nativity scene in Torre del Banaco are also popular places for divers to visit. If divers are up for a challenge, they can dive at Cipo di Confine in Nevene, part of Malcasine. There's an old merchant ship from 1900 that carried cement and stones, and a big ship resembling a Viking ship. Bruno Gallo and Dante Fernando were skilled divers who had enjoyed many exciting underwater adventures. They had the opportunity to explore various stunning locations, such as encountering thresher sharks in Malapascua, coming face to face with great white sharks in Australia, and venturing into the mesmerizing cenotes of Mexico. However, when they decided to dive into the depths of Lake Garda, they approached the experience with uncertainty, not quite sure of what awaited them in this new environment. During their initial trip to Lake Garda, their diving journey began at a place known as Baia Azzurra. This particular dive site holds a special reputation for being perfectly suited for those who are new to diving in Lake Garda. Due to its beginner-friendly characteristics, it frequently attracts dive schools and individuals undergoing PADI certification courses. Experiencing a dive in Lake Garda turned out to be amazing for Bruno Gallo and Dante Fernando, primarily because it marked their very first time delving into the waters of a lake, a dive setting that they hadn't encountered before. As they began their underwater exploration, they were taken aback by the incredible sights that came alive before them. These range from the discovery of tiny crevices hidden within the rock, concealing miniature caves, to the vast stretches of sandy flats, and the imposing presence of a sheer cliff that captured their attention. After Bruno and Dante went on multiple dives, they quickly found out that the most suitable times to explore Lake Garda underwater are during the spring and autumn seasons. These are the times when the temperatures are comfortable and the underwater visibility is excellent. During the summer, the lake becomes warm, but unfortunately the visibility is reduced due to the presence of algal blooms and the sediment carried into the lake by the river Sarka. On the other hand, in the winter, the visibility becomes optimal, but the lake's water is too cold for a wetsuit dive. However, as spring arrives, the water gradually warms up, reaching temperatures of around 59 to 63 degrees Fahrenheit. With their growing experience in diving, Bruno and Dante decided to take on a new challenge. They decided to embark on a deep dive, reaching a depth of 984 feet during the spring season. This particular planned dive marked their deepest exploration yet, and it was born out of their determination to push their boundaries and take their diving experiences even deeper. Bruno and Dante formed a team that consisted of 3 divers to help and support them, and then they began their practice sessions. As time went by, their days of practicing eventually came to an end, and the moment for them to surpass their previous record by attempting a deep dive of 984 feet in the waters of Lake Garda arrived. The pair, along with the team of support divers, started their preparations for this dive early in the morning at 7 a.m. However, as fate would have it, a minor setback arose on the very morning of their planned dive. One of the support divers, who was tasked with going down to a depth of 656 feet, fell ill unexpectedly and was unable to participate in the diving activity. The unfortunate turn of events meant that the diver could not be present and contribute to the dive as intended. As a result of this situation, Bruno and Dante found themselves with only 2 support divers available, and these were those who were equipped for depths of 164 feet and 328 feet. While this unexpected turn of events could have caused them to reconsider and postpone their original dive plan, they decided to press on. Despite their advanced skills and knowledge in diving, they were fully aware that carrying out the dive under such conditions was a decision filled with potential danger, as it could result in severe consequences, even fatal ones. Even with this clear understanding of the risks involved, they chose to proceed with determination, choosing to rely solely on the assistance of the 2 available support divers for their record dive. At 7:30 in the morning, Bruno and Dante started their dive. They brought along a complete collection of scuba tanks. It only took them 10 minutes to descend into the lake, where they impressively reached the intended depth of 984 feet. At this depth, they took hold of a marker that indicated their achievement, which was fastened to a rope. With their accomplishments secured, they began their ascent toward the water's surface. During this time, the 2 support divers dived into the lake and positioned themselves at depths of both 164 feet and 328 feet. As Bruno started descending after reaching a depth of 984 feet, he was breathing calmly and steadily. The journey upwards, covering a distance of 535 feet, went perfectly without any issues. However, things took a turn when one of Bruno's stage tanks became entangled on the line he was using to ascend. This happened at a point 590 feet below the surface. The reason for this entanglement was the presence of a powerful underwater current, which was particularly forceful at that moment. This forceful current pushed Bruno toward the rope that he was ascending. Despite his efforts to distance himself from the rope, Bruno's attempts were sadly unsuccessful. Consequently, he found himself trapped and unable to move freely due to being stuck in the rope. While waiting, the support diver, who had a special rebreather to help him breathe underwater, descended to a depth of 541 feet in the lake. At that depth, he noticed a light that wasn't moving below him. He wanted to explore even deeper, but his diving equipment and the amount of gas he had planned for the dive didn't allow him to go any further down. Additionally, he was facing the danger of narcosis. To communicate with Bruno, he used his light to send signals, hoping for a response. Sadly, his signals went unanswered. Since going deeper would have meant putting his own life at risk, and the strong underwater current was making the dive incredibly challenging, he ultimately chose to turn around and head back. Meanwhile, while Dante was coming back up from his deep dive, he faced problems because he began to feel the strange effects of narcosis. Luckily, he managed to stay alive because he had a safety weight on him. This weight was designed to fall and help him if he ever became unconscious underwater. It was when he reached a depth of 377 feet that he lost consciousness, and because of the weight dropping, he started to go back up toward the surface without any control over it. Thankfully, the support diver who was there noticed Dante's situation and reached him while he was still at a depth of around 262 feet. This support diver helped Dante and prevented any further danger. After the support divers took Dante out of the water, the authorities were informed about the unfortunate accident that befell Bruno. It took up to 5 hours before expert rescue divers could be brought to the site. When they arrived, they discovered Bruno's body without any signs of life, right in the same place where he had gotten stuck. Once they managed to get him out of the water, they came to realize that he had used up all the air he had for diving, and they also found a special badge with the number 984 feet on it, inside one of his pockets. We would like to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed watching, take a dive on the like and subscribe buttons and hit the bell icon so you get notified when we come back with another exciting diving story.